call on the line for you.
Oh, kind of busy. Can you take a message?
It's kind of the CEO of Riot.
Is this Coach?
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Generation Esports Report. I'm Coach Onley.
And I'm Gracie Starr.
And we have a very exciting episode planned for you today.
As always, we'd like to give you guys a quick rundown of the segments in today's episode. But to kick things off, we need to address a serious problem.
Last week's episode was our most viewed episode, and while I'm extremely happy you all enjoyed the open letter, only 30% of you guys were subscribed. So consider hitting that little red button because we're here every week.
Now, obviously, this is a really big week for us because it is officially the first day of the fall major.
This is always the busiest and most stressful time for everyone here as we work around the clock to make sure everything is running smoothly and that you all are enjoying your time in our league.
This is also why we'll be adding a new section to the show called Patch Notes. This section covers any changes, additions, or problems being addressed within our league and company.
So with that said, let's get into this week's Patch Notes.
Welcome to our brand new section, Patch Notes. So this section is dedicated for any competitive product or changes within the company that you all should be aware of. This segment is in direct response to some feedback we got on Discord and our efforts to be more transparent and letting you all know what's going on as fast as possible. And this week, with this being the first day of HSCL's fall major, there's one thing on everyone's mind, which is the queue windows. As you guys might know, on Friday, we sent out communication saying that all windows on the weekend were canceled for the fall major. After that announcement, we took in all of the feedback that you guys had given us, and we decided to do something about it. Obviously, we don't want any team to be able to not compete due to windows closing. That wasn't our intention, and we're learning. So we decided to alter what windows are actually closing. So that's what we're going to focus on in this week's patch notes. So instead of all of the windows closing on the weekend, here are the windows that did indeed close. NBA 2K21, PS4, and Xbox One weekend windows are closed. Madden, PS4, and Xbox One, Hearthstone, CSGO, and Rainbow Six on the PlayStation or Xbox. Due to registration numbers, those windows had to be condensed. We don't want you guys queuing for way too long or not enough teams being in the queue, so those windows had to be closed. However, we are opening up queue windows for Valorant, Call of Duty, Super Smash Bros., Rocket League, and R6 on PC. Those will have a weekend slot at 4 p.m. Eastern on Saturdays, so those teams can compete on the weekends now. Depending on how the first week goes, we may remove both Monday's windows for Overwatch and CSGO and add Overwatch on the weekend. Again, these changes are only to help you guys to make sure that windows and queue times are effective and efficient for your time. So we're just gonna have to see how those ones go. And then no matter what, Texas Smash will be held on Wednesday and Friday windows, and New York Smash will be held on Wednesdays. So those are all the changes. There's more communications going out, so you guys will be aware, but we also want to include that in this section because it's really important for you guys to know what's going on. So with that, that's this week's patch notes.
One of the games we are most excited about adding this year is Valorant. It has been a very well-received game, and lots of new players are starting their esports journey on it.
We did speak with Riot this week though, and they came to us with one of the biggest problems in the game. There are currently no character skins.
So they tasked us with coming up with the first wave of character skins. Here's how it went.
Hey, Coach. Coach. Hey, Coach.
Yeah.
There's a call on the line for you.
Oh, kind of busy. Can you take a message?
It's kind of the CEO of Riot.
Is this Coach? You need character skins for Valorant? No, yeah, I can see why you called me. Alright, consider it done. We got a job. Hello, Mr. CEO of Riot. Thank you for this opportunity. I think you're going to be really pleased with what we came up with. So for the first Valorant skin that we designed, we took on Phoenix. Now, when you think of Phoenix, what do you think of? Think of fire, think of mystical, think of maybe fake creatures. Well, what's the first fake creature you think of? Unicorn. So for this Valorant skin, we've got Jet. Now, what do you think of when you see Jet? Jet. You think of Jet. Now, not only is Jet, but Jet also had a jet. So the next Valorant skin we designed is Brimstone. Now, Brimstone, rolling off the tongue, what does it sound like? Well, Bridgestone. So, took a little inspiration from the old Michelin Man and we made Bridgestone. So the next Valorant skin we designed is Sage. Now, when I think of Sage, I think of herbs, I think of like basil, I think of mint. Now, what's the one thing better than mint? Peppermint. So the next Valorant skin we've got is Sova. Now, when you think of Sova, you think of his sniper. When you think of a sniper, I think of Call of Duty. When you think of Call of Duty, you think of campers. So, Camper Sova. So there you have it. What do you think? Are you still there?
I think we can all agree that we've outdone ourselves this week.
Most definitely. Now, if you're new to the game Valorant, or even just looking to dive deeper into the game, don't worry, we got you covered. In this week's creator highlight, Iridium, a Valorant streamer, shares plenty of tips and tricks across TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and other platforms. Check it out. Back when Valorant was first released, I was wicked hyped to download the game and start playing. Only problem was, Riot hadn't made the game available to Mac. About 4 months later, I had a massive upgrade to the gaming setup I use and finally decided to download the game again and give it a try. Just one problem, I have no idea what I'm doing and I've never been good at FPS games. So I decided to hop on the internet and search for some tips and tricks on how to play. Every page I found though was just full of words and felt more like a reading assignment than something actually helpful. I eventually resorted to TikTok for some guidance and struck gold when I stumbled onto Iridium's page. Pretty much every other video were tips on how to play certain champs, or special ways to click and drag your mouse to create cool effects with some of the agent's abilities.
I warm up my aim. Here's a couple quick tips, some helpful tips that you can in Valorant. Here's a helpful tip for Phantom is still just a couple quick tips you may not have known about Phoenix.
Helpful tips over Phoenix is one of his more popular clips, reaching over 300,000 views.
And curve it to the left or to the right, depending on which way you want it to curve.
Also
Jet
makes
smoke.
a similar
You hold
video
down the
for
button
Jet.
that you use to smoke while moving your mouse around. You can curve the smoke to your liking.
Iridium can also be found on Twitch, where he's amassed over 30,000 followers and has surpassed 1 million views. Most of his content lately has been Valorant related, but he still manages to spice it up from time to time.
Big tweetskis.
I personally love his setup the most out of any streamer I've seen, since the purple tones are really easy on the eyes and match his chill vibe.
Bringing it all there. Yes. Dude, why does this keep going back to red? Into the chat. There's new merch available, so check it out.
Last player standing. One enemy remaining.
Let's go, baby. Day's going great today, Ryan. Thank you, man. Had to work this morning. Ready to just own. Had some pizza rolls.
So you know how I mentioned he likes to spice up his streams? Well, I meant that literally. Iridium does brief barista streams every once in a while and even shows his viewers how to make a pumpkin spice latte.
16th, apparently. Okay, can I switch this? Okay, there we go. Nice swirls to start it off. Ooh, new board setup, Sage? I missed it.
Still can't get enough of this guy and want more content, be sure to drop a like and sub on his YouTube as well. Thanks for watching. He's such a great content creator to check out, especially if you're wanting to learn more about Valorant or pumpkin spice lattes.
And on a totally unrelated note, I know you all missed this segment last week, so here it is back in full force, the biggest fails of the week.
At number 5 this week we have when self-confidence only goes so far.
Okay, I'm going to grenade on the roof. It's going to be absolutely world class. Going to grenade on the roof. It's going to be world class. Here it comes in 3, 2, 1. Terrible.
At number 4, we have what happens when a camper is caught out in the open. The outplay! At number 3, we have a very long series of just unfortunate events. At number 2, we have the best commentary of a camper I think I've ever heard.
This patience is absolutely unmatched. There's no way. I'll lay here and watch just this thing. Bro, armor back up! He moved. You're still getting marked. Does it matter if you have the UAV? You're not gonna challenge. There's no way. You're not real. You're not real! He's got 25K in the bank! And this is what he's doing! What? Dude, I don't know if you realize it, but you still haven't armored. You have armored everything else except you. Can you even get back into your area now? What are you... After all of that, you're gonna jump down, reclaim your C4. Why would you go out for the loadout drop now? You have 25K and you haven't armed.
And at number 1 this week, we have the worst way to head into overtime.
Oh, I want to deep into that. To me.
Leave it.
The fails are great, but as I'm searching through content, I also find some really great comedy around esports.
Should we consider adding an esports comedy section to these reports?
We also missed the news last week due to the open letter, so we have a lot of news to catch up on, as a week in esports seems like a year and everything else. So here's this week's news.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm a little bit tired. It's Monday morning. It's actually the day that you're watching this. Normally I get these done a little ahead of time, but this weekend was pretty big, so I had to kind of wait till this morning. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, there was 2 really big esports events going down this weekend. The first one was the Grand Championship of the Overwatch League. The Overwatch League Grand Championship featured, yet again, the San Francisco Shock versus the Seoul Dynasty. Now, this ended up being a really great matchup, but if you didn't see, spoiler alert, Shock ended up taking it 4-2. Now, this was major news because this is the second year in a row the San Francisco Shock have won this event, and what's even crazier is, if you remember back in April, their star MVP player Sinatra, considered the best player in the game, actually left after they won last year. So a lot of people weren't sure how this team was going to bounce back, and obviously it didn't really affect them that much. Sinatra was an amazing player, but they had a rookie lined up ready to go to take his place. They have a great coach, and obviously they showed the world that they are, without a shadow of a doubt, the best team in Overwatch. So congratulations to the Shock and to Seoul. Honestly, you guys put up a really great fight, and it was a great match. The second major event going on right now in esports is Worlds for League of Legends. Now, this weekend was the conclusion of group play going into the elimination bracket this week. Now, group play is really important. It takes 16 teams in 4 different groups, and only half of those teams move on. 2 of the big teams from the North American side was Team Solo Mid and Team Liquid going into group play, and I'm going to put all the scores up over here, but as you can see, both of them unfortunately did not qualify, and furthermore, TSM actually became the first team in pool play to ever go 0-6. Yeah, that's not good. So Team Liquid went 3-3, and to qualify they needed 4-3. But the disappointing part was their matchup against Machi Esports. They actually went 1-5 in the pool, and their one win was over Team Liquid. And I think honestly they really should have pulled out that win, and if they would have, they might have made it past pool play. Those are the big events going on right now. There is another big CSGO event kicking off this week, so if you're a CSGO fan, hopefully you tune into that, and it's going to be DreamHack. It lasts for a couple weeks, so you have time before the Grand Championships and the major events, but DreamHack always puts on a good show. Outside of competition and all of that stuff, there was another big story that broke this past week if you're an Optic fan. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Optic Gaming is set to be reacquired by Hex. There's a lot of history there to unpack if you don't know. Hex was the original founder of Optic. His name was Optic Hex. Together, under Hex's lead, Optic became the most well-known brand in gaming for a long time. They led MLG in viewership every single time they took stage. They had an amazing Call of Duty team, obviously. They had an amazing gear team. They really took over the esports world here in North America. And through a series of unfortunate events, Hex ended up losing ownership of the Optic Gaming brand. He went on to be co-CEO of Energy, and here we are a year later, and he's already made moves to reacquire all of the IP for Optic Gaming. What this means for the future of the franchise, I don't really know. It sounds like they're going to be selling off their CDL slot to allow someone else to compete in Call of Duty League, since Energy already has the Huntsman. And so what he's going to do with the Optic brand, I'm not sure yet, but it kind of just makes 2012 Connor happy knowing that Hex owns Optic again. And with that, that is going to be the news for this week.
And for our last segment of the show, we have the top plays.
This week, we changed it up a little in honor of Rocket League going free to play both in-game and in the fall major. So this is the biggest Rocket League plays of the week.
At number 5, we have the ultimate rule number 1. At number 4, I'm not even sure what this upside down maneuver is called, but I like it. At number 3, we have just the cleanest double juke I've ever seen. At number 2, we have a rare combo of juke to pass to goal.
You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and a giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the buffs. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. Ooh, I've been on the flex since flex.
And at number 1, just watch this recovery.
Hop in my car and a giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the buffs. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and a giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the buffs. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. Ooh, I've been on the flex since flex zone. Neighborhood all in your eardrums.
And that's going to do it for this week's Generation Esports Report.
Please make sure to hit that subscribe button and tune into the premiere every Monday at 3 p.m. Central. But for now, we'll let you get back to the grind.
He's such a great guy. No, wow, that was so awkward.